They've gone through many incarnations. This is Wiki. You're like, wow, he's really, he's spot on. This guy knows his stuff. I think I do a
God, he
little
does
bit.
his best thinking when he's concentrating on the screen in front of him.
His eyes are shifting left to right.
They just dart back and forth. You didn't fool me.
And when he leans in. Oh man, Hawkwind. They've gone. Oh yeah, I've said that. Incarnations. He even knows that word. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Into the Music. I'm just laughing. I'm just in such a wonderful mood today, Andy. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are you? I mean, obviously you're doing well. You're already laughing, and we're just getting started.
Yeah, just life is grand. You know why?
Saturday, man.
I think it's because I'm so excited about the song I'm going to give you.
All right. Well, then if you're that excited, I hope through osmosis I become excited. So put it on me.
All right. And of course, I just raised the bar really high, so you're gonna be like, what the hell? Yeah. I hope not. You ever hear the band called Hawkwind?
No, I haven't actually. Man, the name is not familiar, but the name sounds like very like 70s rock or something to me. I don't know.
Right.
What are they?
It's a really interesting band that I came across not that long ago, and I love this song. It's called "Hurry on Sundown."
Okay.
So I guess I got feeling you drawing a
blank.
Oh
no, I haven't heard of Hawkwind or their song "Hurry on Sundown."
Right. Just want to make sure. Yeah. All right. Cool. So I sent you the link. Go check it out. And come on back and let everyone know, the two people that are on right now watching us.
all you Hawkwind fans out there.
I think there are a lot of Hawkwind fans, and there's a famous person, I think you know this guy, who actually played with this band after this song, but we'll get into that on the other side.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, hopefully they got one more fan. I'm going to go listen to him.
All right, man.
All right. That's an interesting way of introducing other instruments into the song. I don't know, interesting production choice or something. It was hardly subtle, but it sounds good. I like it thus far. I love what the harmonica is doing, and I also love what the guitar is doing, but I wish the level on the guitar was closer to where the harmonica is, because I'm having to sift through the harmonica in order to find the guitar. And the rhythm too, like the the chord progression and the drums in the background are also commanding a lot of attention too, and I feel like it's kind of drawing away from whatever they're trying to accomplish with the guitar. But musically, it's sound. It's just a production thing, I think.
Well, hurry on, sundown, see what tomorrow brings. Hurry on, sundown, see what tomorrow brings. Well, it may bring more, any old thing. Look into your mind's eye, see what you can see. Look into your mind's eye, see what you can see. There's hundreds of people like you and me. Oh, hurry on, sundown. Hurry on, sundown. Oh, hurry on, sundown. Hurry on, sundown.
I like how they've let the drummer kind of have fun in this little section where there fills intermittently throughout this portion. And yeah, job well done, that man. All right, I'm taking this back a little bit because what the song is super simple, right? Like it's a few chords and they just ride that rhythm through the whole way out. But this is fun. Like what the harmonica and drummer are doing together a bit here is pretty neat. So I'm gonna take it back and hope I land in a sweet spot. Yeah, that's as sweet as it gets. I guess that's it. All right. Yeah, not the world's most complex song. But yet there was something fun about it and kind of uplifting too, even in the message and the lyrics, where it's kind of just looking forward to the future, right? And the next day can bring anything. Just look into your mind's eye, use your imagination. At one point, he says there could be war, but then there could be anything else. And the power is sort of within you, to do with a new day what you will, I suppose. Good song, fun song. Look forward to talking with Greg about it.
Hey, I see you back. I see you back, and you got a little bit of a smile, but that doesn't tell me anything. So, what do you think, man?
I liked it. It was there are parts of it that I really, really liked, but there are also parts where I wanted a little bit more from it, I suppose. For instance, in general, the song is very repetitive. Like that rhythm just rides till dawn. Like that acoustic guitar and the upbeat sort of strumming there. It was good, but I was just like, oh my god, throw me a bridge or some sort of interlude,
right?
Go somewhere else musically, and then come back to that hook sound of the very, because it'll bury itself in your head, that chord progression,
right?
Which is appealing and a sign of good songwriting. But I just would have liked some more diversity within the song.
That's fair. Yeah.
The parts I found interesting were almost the bookends. The intro to the song I found interesting. Like that's almost always like an important part of every song. Like how do they capture you in the first 25 seconds, right? Or whatever it is of a song.
Yeah.
So I always sort of like lean into that to see what the thought process was on how to get us, the audience, invested.
Yeah.
And committed. And then the ending was great because I really loved what the harmonica and drums were doing together, because it was talking to each other.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna ride this hard on the harmonica, and I'm gonna ride this beat really hard on the drum, and they're gonna sound like they're two different people speaking the same language to each other, or the same, citing the same line, which I really loved. I think I had to go back and listen to that again, because it was so often you hear that with the lead of a guitar and a drum, and the drummer, and they get in sync and they start doing things similar to that. But it's always interesting when it's a different instrument than the normative, like a harmonica versus a lead guitar. The intro was interesting because of how the rest of the band found themselves getting into the song. Like it almost sounded like, from a production standpoint, the guitarist was sitting there doing his thing, and you could imagine the other members of the band coming in and plugging in and getting behind the set and just starting to play with him. Because you almost hear that little flirtation of the bass note.
Yeah.
The bass line just starts picking up after like one pluck of a bass note. And like the bass player sitting down, making sure his levels are good, and then he goes into the song. And you sort of hear that with the drums too. And at first I found it a little bit jarring, but then after I listened to it and I wrote down a couple of notes, I was thinking maybe that was intentional, for the very reason that I just, like, they were trying to depict this sort of organic, we're all just picking up our instruments and playing a song, and it just so happened to be recorded kind of approach to the song. So I really liked that. And again, the ending was great because of the way it came to fruition with those two instruments really shining. I'll say that there was another part. I'm just going off here. I'm getting everything off my chest.
This is great. I love it. I love this.
Another part was like where the harmonica is doing its first sort of the spotlight's on me moment. You know what I mean? A bit before the way they wrote it out to the end. And it sounded like the guitar was also trying to do some things with the harmonica at that point, like some lead guitar was happening. But I don't know if this is a my brain thing or a production thing, but I felt the levels on the guitar could have better been lifted to match the harmonica, because I had to sift through some harmonica and even some drums to realize that there was a lead guitar line happening, and not just that 3-chord thing that was going on for a majority of the song.
Yeah.
So it was kind of tough to cite. I bet it was beautiful. I bet if I could, single out that part of the recording, I'd appreciate it more. I just wish that thought had gone into it when they were producing it post, recording.
That's so perceptive, because I could definitely see that and actually hear it. I think I know those parts you're talking about. Couple of things, and we'll get into information. Like I got things pulled up, but from kind of like what I know a little bit, without looking at something. It was recorded in 1969, and this was and this was I believe this was the first single from this band. It was recorded in the Abbey Road studio. So you would think, oh wow, they should have everything down, right? Because they were all these bands were performing and recording there. Of course, the Beatles,
Sure.
most
Yeah.
famously Pink Floyd, and so many others too. But who knows who was mixing that? Because back then, right, you're still using like a 4-track recorder, and it was nothing like what is today. So
Exactly.
if you didn't have someone who really was adept and professional at like mixing and getting the sounds like together. I mean, even when you listen back to Beatle albums before they were remixed by George Martin's son Giles, right? In the last 5 years, I mean, Revolver and Sgt. Pepper's and White Album, right straight through. But when you would listen to them, some of these sounds, like would be sort of like almost like you would be in the right ear and be almost like sort of like low, and you wanted them to kind of come up and like that.
Yeah.
So it was really difficult, I think, back then to be a real like effectively mix and produce. So
You're
that's
right.
kind of what
You're absolutely right.
So that's one thing in my head. Also, this was a demo, and from what I could see, I don't know if they used the demo for as a single, or because that's the thing too. They went to studio and they recorded demos, including this song, and maybe that's it too. It was just kind of like a first cut too. I just really don't know. There's something about it though. When I've heard it, I'm a sucker for a one chord beginning to end. I'm a sucker for that. I mean, I'm weird, right? It's like there are certain songs where it just makes sense to have some sort of change, when the band all of a sudden you come across that turn, you're like, oh, okay, I was expecting that, but that's kind of cool. And then you go along with that, right? It's almost though, you give an address, right, to get to that, but you've never gone there before, so you just have to follow the path that's going to take you to that place, and you're not going to question it. Oh, it's a left here and a right here, and then you turn around and you have to go back this way. You're just not going to question that because that's how you get there. And so, in some journeys it's a pain in the ass, and you're like, and then a lot it's like, although I never feel like I ever got somewhere and said that's an amazing trip, but I'm trying to make the analogy. So I'm going to go with it a little bit, but then there's like, if you just get straight on a highway and just go through, it depends on like what you encounter along the way. That was a pretty cool mountain. That lake was gorgeous. Look, they're on the lake right now with, water skiing. I don't know. But I felt like with this song, it was one of those beginning to end, but that damn harmonica and what you said, the harmonica and the drums and what they were doing.
Yeah, they were having fun. You know what I mean? You could tell that the drummer and the harmonic, you could tell in practice the first time that they started developing and writing this song, that once the drummer and the harmonica knew that was their time to shine, they were like sinking in with each other, and the drummer was probably like following the way the harmonica was playing and the breaths and like the shortness and length of those breaths, and translating that to how he was striking his drums and letting his hits resonate and stuff like that. It was just like almost like, instead of call and response, it was like harmonization of the same pattern, but two different instruments playing it together. And it was like, oh, this is really cool. This is really interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So much with lead guitar and drums, but just for some reason, the advent of it being a harmonica instead of a lead guitar made it so much more, I don't know, not profound, but just distinguishable and unique in comparison to like so many rock guitarists and drummers doing that in every great song.
Yeah. So Hawkwind, they're an English rock band, and they're known as one of the earliest space rock groups. Now, you don't really get that from this song. This is more like sort of that sort of folkish kind of sound, with a little bit of rock thrown in.
For sure.
Absolutely. They've gone through many incarnations. This is Wiki. You're like, wow, he's really, he's spot on, This guy knows his stuff. I think I do.
God, he does
bit.
his best thinking when he's concentrating on the screen. And
his eyes are shifting left to right.
They just dart back and forth. You didn't fool me.
And when he leans in.
Yeah.
Oh man, Hawkwind. They've gone. Oh yeah, I've said that. Incarnations. He even knows that word.
Yeah.
Hard rock, psychedelic rock, They were actually known as an influential proto-punk band. Many musicians, dancers, and writers have worked with this band since their inception. Notably, if I say the name Lemmy, do you know who that is?
Oh yeah. Lemmy Motorhead.
Yeah, Lemmy joined this
I'm a
band.
bass player, man. I got to know all good bass players. They're all iconic bass players.
Yeah, he joined
Yeah,
this band
Lemmy.
like in '73, I think.
Wow, that's so wild because I hear that's the song that we just listened to, and then I think of the Ice of Spades, and I'm like, whoa, how does Lemmy and Motorhead get involved with this like sort
Yeah,
of upbeat, almost folksy kind of sound? But then you're naming all these other subgenres of rock and roll that they've dabbled in, so it's clear that one song is not the full picture with Hawkwind or their incarnations.
right. And Ginger Baker, another guy, right?
Yeah, I know Ginger Baker.
So he was. I don't know if he was drumming on this. That'd be interesting to know. But a lot of guys. David Brock, guitarist and singer, songwriter, founder. He is the only remaining original member, so it's still a band. This song was basically, again, it was their first single, and then they kind of, I think they played it in a few concerts in the very beginning, and then they stopped. They stopped playing. I guess because as the band evolved into more like a sort of psychedelic and rock, you can imagine Lemmy, and there's a song called Silver Machine. That's maybe the next one I want to give to you from this band. I think maybe Lemmy's on that, and that was '72. So maybe Lemmy.
So how long was Lemmy in the band?
Lemmy was in the band. I don't know if I hover over his name. So Lemmy actually did join in '72. That's what Wiki's telling me. He did play on Silver Machine and a lot of other. So '72, '73 through '80. Actually, it was '75. And
Okay.
Lemmy said this about Hawkwind. I did like being in Hawkwind, and I believe I'd still be playing with them today if I hadn't been kicked out. It was fun on stage, not so much off stage. They didn't want to mesh with me. Musically, I loved the drummer, the guitar player. It was a great band. Supposedly he had some erratic behavior and stuff like that.
That doesn't sound untrue.
Hey, rock and roll, man,
Yeah, exactly.
rock and roll. Yeah. All right, man. And don't forget Silver Machine. I'll
definitely give it a listen.
That's the next one that's going to go to you at some point down the road. And in the meantime, you have a great rest of the day. And to everyone out there, really hope you enjoyed this and drop some breadcrumbs. Aside from Silver Machine, what else do you think we need to listen to from this band? And we'll see every one of you on the next episode of Into the Music.